a small recap. So we've been asking this question, who am I? And then we considered the I am the body as a, is that valid? And then we had almost 2 weeks we discussed it, that it seems to be a good theory to say that I am the body, but then there is very good reason, one coming from the hard problem of consciousness, and the second from the fact that you cannot remove consciousness and existence, because that's a very logical reason why I am the body doesn't work. If that is not very clear what I just said, you have to go and see the previous video. And after that we considered, I am my personality. That means I am the roles which I play, I am my memories, I am my aspirations, and everything what we consider as me. All the things which we can put as part of me. And then we also had a couple of arguments why that is not so good theory to say, that is me. We had some thought experiments and the case of dissociative disorder or multiple personality disorders. Again, I just put one big statement to make a huge claim, but then we have discussed this in previous videos, so you can check this if it is not clear. Then having set aside these two, which is the popular theories, then we wanted to consider something more. Okay, if the consciousness of the self is not produced by the brain, what is it? Can it be something fundamental? You still need to account for it, right? You can say it's clear that it is very clear, or you have a good reason to believe that it's not produced by the brain, but then it's still there, it is still there. So you need to have an account for where it is coming from and what it is. So that is what we were discussing the last week. So when we say, to bring it a little bit back to our Indian way of thinking, we have said, I am not the body, I am not the mind, but am I the Atma? Right? That's something in our regular thinking we have, you are not your body or your mind, but you are the Atma. But what Atma is and all those things, we don't know. So that's what we're going to investigate in the next few weeks. Atma, self, consciousness, all of this more or less we'll be using similar, synonymously, let us say. Not exactly the same, but we will use them. As we go along, we'll get clarity on how we use these terms. Let me put it that way. And then, one of the things which we did last week was, maybe if I ask you the question, are you aware? Let's close our eyes and ask ourselves, am I aware? Or am I present?
Only when I ask that question.
When I ask that question?
Only when I ask it. Only when you ask that question. Only when I think about it. Am I aware? Am I present?
So your idea is, you have to think about it?
To be aware.
To be aware, or when you thought about it, the awareness which was already existing, you recognized.
You recognized it. Yeah.
So you did not come into existence when you thought about it, right?
No.
I mean, see, there is a subtle difference. You are there.
It's like from the background, it comes into the foreground.
Yes. Yeah. So we were having a little bit of a fun time last week. We were asking in school when the teacher takes the attendance, the roll call. They say, Raghuji, you'll say,
Present, sir.
present, sir, right? So for that, to tell that you are present, what did you have to do to say that you are present? So I'm just asking the same question in a different way. Did you have to go and, oh yeah, I'm present?
I had to just endorse or
Acknowledge the presence.
acknowledge that, yeah, I'm here. I had to acknowledge that I'm here.
That's it, right? So there was we don't need to infer it. Like it's not some complicated reasoning. Oh, my body is there, so I am there. Or, oh, I'm able to think, so I am there. This I am there is immediate. So this is what we will be calling as self or Atma. For temporarily we will take that definition. But of course we can challenge it and we can see why it may not be sufficient. But for now, this is where we have come to. And more importantly, what we have discussed is this I am there is not produced by the brain or the body. So this is the discussion argument we have made for 2 weeks. But you might, for those who have not gone through that argument, you might still be wondering, yeah, I'm there, but that's produced by the brain. You can always say that, right? So to be able to say there is a good reason to not believe that, we needed to eliminate the body theory. Now you get why that was an important step before we come to this. Oh, I exist and it is there. And more importantly, our book is not just about the self, but also about the second part, know thyself.
Be happy.
Be happy. So the happiness part, how is it connected? Just we have to remind ourselves from time to time. If you think that you are the body, then when you stand in front of the mirror, you see no hair. Like obvious sign of aging. I'm just giving that as an example. Or you'll say that you're fat or have some sickness. So all of this belongs to the body. At the level of the body, all of these are problems. I'm not telling you this is not. If you can be healthy, great. If you can find a way to delay your aging, great. I'm not telling you should or you should not, but that has nothing to do with you. The body is something which will age naturally and it will die also. So, but then if you attach yourself to that, then that becomes a source of unhappiness. Or in fact, that is the source of almost all the sorrow that which we have. That's a big claim. It's about either your body or about the body of who you think is connected to you. Like our kids or loved ones in a broad sense. Whenever we connect that and think that, oh, that is aging, and then we feel sad or anxiety, everything comes from that. So the reason why we need to get past this I am the body is that's how it's connected to the happiness. Any thoughts, reflections around this? Anything not clear?
But how do we attribute it when things are going well with this body? Don't you have to feel happy? Is that not correct?
Yes, it is. I'm not telling. So, if you attribute your happiness to just because the body is doing well. Let's say, for example, let's say like we had this discussion some time back, right? Oh, you're like waiting for a diagnosis, like I did a blood test, and then everything comes out, oh, normal. Then you feel very happy. So that means like we have attributed our happiness to the well-being of the body. There you notice it's actually you're moving from a negative to a zero. This one we discussed some time back, but it's a good point that you brought it up. But we will see later that our natural state, we are already happy. So that means that's why we will say when we discuss what that Atma is, if by inherently that has no limitations, you're already at as happy as you can be. And then we think that our happiness is contingent or conditional upon the body doing well is because we were worried that it was not doing well, and then when that information got changed with a new thought that oh no, when everything is fine with the body, it just came back to normal. So this is it?
Yeah.
But you can always say, oh no, I went from -10 to +10, but what you are telling is 0. Right? This is another, you can say that, but we will see that actually what we are talking about is not being at 0. What we are talking about is being at +10.
One thought which comes to mind on this topic of attachment, too much attachment to the body could be a source of sorrow.
Yes.
If you look back, Gautam Buddha, his journey for renunciation and self-discovery started with when he observed an old man, a sick man, something like that. And that was all bodily.
Yes.
And if you look back also, our saints and all, they never really cared about their body. They were always more focused on the inner self.
There is nothing wrong about trying to live healthy life and caring for our body. But the problem comes when we cling to it and think that that is the source of our happiness.
But first, what we need to be very clear, so far what we have read in the book, existence has two distinct, I don't know what to call it. I just say one is consciousness and one is material. They are two very distinct aspects. So now we have to understand the interplay between the two of them.
Yes.
Right? And therefore as we go, like this thing about attachment, where, how, identification, all of these are the adjectives that you apply to yourself. You have to question that and say, okay, this is my leg, this is my hand, this is my this. So it's all in the material world. We are so conditioned to be taking ownership of the material world. We don't know anything about the consciousness.
Correct. So that is the entire effort we have been making is for now is to make this separation. Yeah. To even realize that hey, there is a separation.
Correct.
What the body theorists will say is, oh, there is no separation. Just the body is there. And then what you think is consciousness is just coming out of the body. And then for them there is no problem. That's what they say. But then they attach their identity to the body. And that's very problematic.
And then we talked about personality and all that.
Correct. So the same, whatever we discuss about the body is also applicable to the personality.
So are we saying that there are three things? Body, consciousness and Atma. Or consciousness and Atma is
the same.
Is the same. So that is where we are going. But okay, when you say consciousness and Atma, how do you differentiate? I mean, don't worry. Just, it's okay.
Yeah, yes. On the top of my mind, I would say it is slightly different.
Mm.
Because consciousness is there till your body is there.
Mm.
But Atma is there beyond your body.
Yeah, okay. I'll just stop you there. So this is the question. So when you say that the consciousness is there only until the body is there, what is the evidence for that?
I mean, if there is no body, well, how will you have a consciousness?
No, this is our
Yeah,
normal way
yeah,
of thinking. That means
No,
like
then even the question you can say, how do you know the Atma survives the body? It's the
That's a
same,
different topic. altogether.
same thing, no, but why are we distinct? So it's a play of words.
It's the way we form use
It
the
is-
word.
It's just the way we
अगर
use
आप
the word.
consciousness को ही आत्मा बोलना शुरू कर दें,
हाँ.
हाँ वही तो मैं पूछ रहा हूँ
See, that is,
मेरे को हिसाब से कॉन्शियसनेस अलग है
it goes back to
आत्मा अलग है।
the point that you made
Yeah.
about manifestation. So, I mean, you know, you're bringing in Bhagavad Gita again, whatever we are learning there. So, if consciousness has to manifest, it has to manifest in the material world.
Yeah.
So, I think that's a different topic from what we are discussing, because we are going more from identifying.
who are you?
Identifying.
Yeah, we are going from inside
Yeah, so this-
in and out. That
that
is
is
something that we've been
that is-
told.
that
Yeah.
is what we have been told.
Yeah.
So, I think.
I don't think we should also even try to distinguish between Atma consciousness. We just have to understand that there are two aspects.
Yeah.
One is the material aspect, and one is this consciousness that we're talking about.
Consciousness slash
That is
Atma.
Atma.
But I do empathize, or I can see where Neerajji is coming from, because it's a common understanding that we have a body, consciousness, and Atma is something which we don't know about. We kind of leave that out and then say that is sacred and so on.
For the time being, it works to say, okay, I'm conscious, but I'm not yet there. I'm not yet at Atma. You know,
Not only
for the
that,
time being, I think
not
we can
only
just
that,
say
conscious. We literally using the word literal. I'm conscious means
Yeah, it's.
I'm alive and therefore I'm conscious. That's why.
Yeah.
Once I'm dead, I won't be conscious. Is my aspect. That's what I think.
it's like conscious, unconscious.
Conscious,
No Allah.
unconscious. If you use that conscious for this, then it is limited.
Mm.
But if you say consciousness is that unlimitless, there is some there.
You're right.
It's an aspect, and therefore then we can start talking about whether it's consciousness and Atma the same. That's a separate.
At this point, we are still there. We are
Yes.
there. I'm conscious. I'm unconscious.
Yeah.
It is that
Correct. So that is like, say, in deep sleep, you're.
unconscious.
That's what we will say, right?
Yeah, I
Or
would
in
say
anesthesia, I'm
yeah.
unconscious.
Yeah.
So that means where we are attaching
Mm.
some content with consciousness.
Mm.
That means, I have to see something, feel some pain, feel
There should be some
emotion.
sensory feeling for
Only
it.
then I am conscious.
Which is what he said in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because if you
I'm-
ask an
I'm
unconscious
awareness,
person,
so it's-
are you aware?
Mm.
There will be no reply.
Yeah.
So I
But
No, that's what. Like he said,
So we have
you have to ask a question. Are you aware? Only then that comes to the fore. Like you said, it's in the background.
So we
It comes
believe
to the
it in
fore.
that way, but whereas as we study and we know that consciousness it's not dependent on the body, it's not dependent on any of these aspects.
correct.
How do we, so that's the thing that, we are studying in spirituality, you go to that fourth state or whatever it is, which is Turiya. So we don't know what that is, we are only intellectualizing.
Correct.
But knowing at this point in time that there are two aspects,
It's already.
I actually have another question. When we take all these drugs, right? When they put us to anesthesia, and then we lose our sense of self, and then after the drug's effect has gone, we come back to our senses and we know that we are conscious.
Mhm.
And then a dead person or a dead body doesn't have the capacity to come back to consciousness, whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
So how do we differentiate these two?
Those are two different phenomena. I mean, I'm not telling this and that are the same or anything like that. From that, you cannot conclude that the body produces consciousness. This is a subtle argument. We have been talking about this many times, and we will keep talking about this, and it's totally fine. Like when you go to sleep, like first you're conscious about thoughts, something, maybe worried about something, and slowly you will drift off to sleep, and then you will enter a completely different world. The dream world is there, in which you get a dream body, and then you will dream about something. So there is consciousness, and then the waking world has been replaced by the dream world. You see, the argument is, first there is consciousness right now, there is a waking world, and then when you go to sleep, this set of content goes away, and then a new set of content comes in. And then when you go to deep sleep, there is no content. That doesn't mean there is no consciousness. So this is the...
So if you compare deep sleep with death, so when I go to deep sleep, I'm also as unconscious as I would be if I were dead.
Then
right?
the consciousness arrives.
So then, only thing is, because I come back, I say, okay, because then you're asked, like, a valid question, how come a dead man is not conscious? There is one question that we have to ask ourselves as we go through this is, where is this consciousness? We believe that it's somewhere between our eyes and in our head.
Produced by the brain.
Produced by the brain. It is so embedded in us. That's why we are asking this question.
Yes.
You know what happens if I die, that body is lying there, it's not conscious. Because the consciousness was never in the body.
Yes.
You see,
if that gets clear...
If that gets clear, then you won't worry about whether it's a dead body or a live body.
How do you know consciousness was never in the body? How did you come to that conclusion?
You learn it from the texts, okay? The conscious, and also Jyoti listens to a lot of the NDE and all of these things. Actually, you can see when they get into these near-death experiences, a lot of them consistently say, I can see my body. I know who I am, this personality, and I can see this body, and I know who it is. How does that thing come? If consciousness, also look at the logic. If consciousness was stuck in my body, it's limited. Consciousness is all pervading. That's what even Krishna says, I am all pervading, everything is in me. Every atom, every aspect, I am there everywhere, and everything is one. If that is the case, can I be contained in the body?
Yeah, so then the question is, what's the difference between a living body and a dead body? So
good point.
On the contrary, if you say, look, the consciousness is there in the body, for another argument, okay? So if the consciousness is there in the body, when the consciousness is not there in the body is dead.
But there the shloka comes in so handy, right? The body is just like a cloth.
Yeah.
Consciousness wears it, takes it out.
Yeah.
I mean that's
So this
okay.
is
We are going back and forth.
Back and
between-
forth.
It's good because it is a complicated
Yeah.
topic. Now we are only talking about it in an intellectual
Yeah.
way. But it is important to kind of know that there is we've been talking about this in our Gita satsang for so long. But now we are just that is also a kind of an intellectual understanding of, okay, this is what Krishna says. And then that becomes the final word. Now here we are taking that and kind of investigating and asking questions, and so it's not, we don't have to take it as a final word. Hey, is it really true? Now we are trying to understand it with our own logic and see what the people have, different people have thought about it. Yeah.
So consciousness, you take it like, we have done this before, the electricity going through your system, right? So you are just plugging in. Now you take an appliance, you put electricity, you put a battery in it, it will function. Once it conks off and something goes wrong, it is dead, right? Even if you put consciousness or electricity in it, it won't function. So you just imagine your body, you're just plugging into this, you've just arrived, you have got all these systems, your capability is to plug into that consciousness which is driving your living itself. Consciousness pervades everything and makes you perform all of these actions. So that is one. It's not that I am saying this is the proof. I cannot prove any of these things. But if we start thinking on those lines, it may give then therefore where is consciousness? All of those you could keep.
Also, at what point does the body become conscious?
Conscious, and all those things.
Have we ever experienced our birth? Our own birth. Like when you say that when I am born, have we experienced our own birth?
Perhaps, but we don't have memory of it. I sometimes.
So what do you mean by you're born?
You're just conscious. At that
It means
point,
you were unconscious? Unconscious in the real absolute sense, and consciousness came?
Yeah, from somewhere consciousness came into that.
Like in the womb, right? Sometimes the baby will kick.
Baby is there. I mean, baby is there in the womb, and the baby is conscious.
So right from the time the egg and the sperm meet, the
At that
consciousness
point, there is consciousness.
No, the scientists say it comes in at about 2-3 months.
Okay, so that is not even the case.
Yeah,
When we say I experienced my birth, let's just for now, simplicity, let's assume that when the child comes out, comes with a complete unconscious in the normal sense. It just comes out and then it experiences some phenomena. Maybe it sees it's a little bit of the mother or everybody making noise, clapping, whatever.
Lights.
In fact, vision is also not there immediately.
No. And then because there is all this content, the child thinks, the child doesn't think, but that's its first experience of consciousness is when it sees some content. But from that, we cannot conclude that there was no consciousness until some content came in.
Not only that, I think we are continuing to get confused between being conscious and consciousness itself. There is a distinction there. Because we are so programmed to say, okay, I'm aware, I know what's going on, and therefore I'm conscious. We don't understand that consciousness is something bigger than that. So let's hold it there.
Yeah, that's okay. It's good that we had this.
Good point. I am coming out. So, wanting to ask this. The word conscious is confusing itself because it can have a limited meaning. That's why my first question was, or it could have an unlimited meaning.
Yeah.
So let's pause and define it in a little bit more pervasive manner. My question is, what is the Hindi equivalent of consciousness? Consciousness use to kar rahe hain. The Hindi equivalent
So Hindi I don't know, but I can tell you the Sanskrit what they say in the Vedas. It's called Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. I'll explain to
No, existence, consciousness. Consciousness is chit.
Chit. So Satyam.
That's all. Chit is the word.
Chit se chetna. Chetna is also awareness.
Awareness.
So chit is the consciousness.
He said actually the definition. You said the definition. Satyam
Jnanam
Jnanam
Anantam Brahma.
So something that is true, something that is known, something that is all prevalent.
Anantam is
Forever.
unlimited.
Limitless.
Yeah.
Brahman is what we call that aspect Brahman.
Yeah.
So here it's defined as chit. And then the idea is when we say we are conscious, you are actually referring to the chit. Right now, when the teacher asks Neeraj ji, are you present? The claim is you are actually going to the chit and telling yes, and then reporting back. You are not going to something limited and reporting back. So that is the claim. In fact, that's a huge thing, right?
Yeah.
And also I think sometimes we can have this analogy also, right? If I have a complete 100% recyclable factory of electrical products, then I make bulbs, I make tube lights, whatever forms it is, and then each of these live for some period of time, and then it gets recycled, and then again new bulbs and tube lights and everything is made, and these are all actually from the same physical object which was once there. So probably that is where.
Correct. So that makes
Energy, we are also like that.
Yeah.
everything is recycled.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
This we discuss so often.
Last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we are just telling. This is a good way to say as what Vishji said. There's two aspects. In Sankhya philosophy, we talk about Prakriti and Purusha. Prakriti is the world, including our thoughts, feelings, memories, sensations. All this is Prakriti. Purusha is that which is aware of all of this, that which makes all of this possible, or that which is aware of this. So that is the distinction. And this is whether it is unlimited or limited is the second thing. And it's very good that we had this discussion, because otherwise we will know as we progress it might become not so clear.
In fact, Krishna in chapter 9 we're going to do, the whole chapter is called Sovereign Secret. The Sovereign Secret is nothing but this distinction between material and this thing. He said, I am this aspect, and he describes that aspect. So that's
Wonderful.
where it comes.
Yeah. Okay. So, but anyway, we didn't cover what we wanted to cover today, but we will still do a little bit more. But then,
Next
okay.
time it's okay. I think, time is not a...
Yeah, let's do one more little part and then go to the meditation.
So we should not be worried that we are not...
So the Buddhists will say, okay, we have already now answered the materialists who say I am the body, I am the personality, and so on. And then we say, oh, there is this Atma, that is who I am. And then there has been a more than 1,000-year debate in India where Buddha said, no, there is no Atma. Like here now we are talking about a big figure. Something very Indian, our own. No, there is no Atma. You guys are confused. He was actually responding to the people who were telling that we had individual Atmas, who considered Atma as this lower version of consciousness. Like what Neeraj was telling, I'm conscious means I'm with my thoughts, my memories, all this is all bundled together into my consciousness, and he called that as Atma. So actually Buddha was responding to that and saying, no, that is not an Atma or consciousness, so there is no Atma. He wasn't referring to this limitless consciousness. This is my take on that. And Swami Sarvapriyananda also says something similar. So the Buddhists will say, oh, at any point you're having all these experiences, but each experience comes with its own consciousness. It's not that there is an unlimited, like the Satyam Jnana Anantam, like we're talking about everything, this unlimitless consciousness in which all of this arise. The Buddha said, oh no, all of these things arise, and along with it the consciousness also arises, and then it's a little consciousness in every moment. That's why they call us Shanikavada, meaning moment. Just let's read one paragraph where to show this contrast, and then we will.
But why should we assume this
Page
unity?
53.
If new experiences arise moment by moment and change across a lifetime, why believe in an unchanging consciousness underlying them? What reason is there to distinguish between individual experiences and the singular awareness that encompass them?
Okay. We say that this is the question which Buddha, I'm just representing the Buddhists now, where the Buddhist cap. So what the Buddha said was, in fact maybe it's a good idea to to explain that a little. He had this something called as the dependent origination, which means, I'll explain, that every moment there are these 5 skandhas, or 5 aspects, not like the 2 but the 5. And all of this arise together and gives us a feeling of self or any experience. So what are these 5? Again, it's not easy to understand, but let me try to explain. But the 5, one is, he calls as the Rupa Skandha, like the
Appearance.
Visual.
Rupa, form, our body, physical, Rupa Skandha. The second is called as the Vedana Skandha. Vedana means emotion, pleasant or unpleasant. That's it. No specific emotion, but more like whether it is pleasant or unpleasant. At any experience, every time you will always feel there is a pleasantness and unpleasantness associated, right?
So combined is called Vedana.
Vedana. No, Vedana is the
Either
this or this. Rupa, Vedana. Then we have sense experiences, sense of smell, sight, touch, taste, all of this. So that he called as the samajna, something like that. But that's not important. Let's assume sensory experience is another skandha. Then the 4th one is, when all of this are there, we also have ideas about them. We have memories. What we call in our thing called vasana or samskaras, right? We have an experience, like we have the rupa, we have the vedana, we have the senses, and then our samskaras also come into the picture of how you interpret this. Let's say you have been drinking coffee from your childhood. Just the smell of coffee is enough to excite you and to want it. So where is that coming from? That's coming from memory, our vasanas or the samskaras. Then the 5th is consciousness. So for Buddha, these 4 and the consciousness all arise together. And then, you see a flash of, you're having flashes of conscious experience. And all of these conscious experiences are occurring one after the other so fast that we think that it is some unlimited Brahman or Atma behind it.
So they are strung together.
Strung together, yes. So this is the Buddhist argument. That means these 5 things, the 5 aggregates, all arise at the same time, and then it arises in such quick successions that we are not able to see that it arises so fast, and then we see a continuous experience, and then we say,
there must be an orchestrator, no? You can't have something so instantaneous, moment to moment, and then it goes away. Then we won't feel the continuum, but we do feel the continuum. So there must be some orchestrator behind this.
No, it happens so instantly, is what he's saying. Is that you don't feel that you just think it's a continuum. They're all series of what they're saying is series of.
It's like, there are those books. You turn it quickly enough.
You keep doing that.
And you can almost
each
see
picture is moving into that. So when you do one after the other, you think that actually it's moving.
So what are you
That's what is
saying?
actually happening.
Buddhists believe in consciousness or not?
Oh, they do, but that consciousness is not the type of consciousness which we are talking about. They have an Atma. No, they don't have anything called Atma. Everything arises and vanishes, moment by moment. That's why for them, the 3 main fundamental things is.
So it is associated with the body, because when this is all, as you say, small incidents, and they are all strung together, and the body is no longer there, then this is no longer there.
Yeah, you said it's Because there's no loop, right? So,
Rupa, because Rupa is one condition.
yes, the condition is a form.
When you're not telling, the body itself is part of the arising. So you were never there for you to call yourself dead or born. To say that you were born and you lived for so many years itself doesn't make sense, because when you say you were born, you were never born. There is only a bunch of experiences.
The being born itself is an experience.
Yeah. In that moment.
Another way of looking at it is our cells keep changing.
Yes.
So who are we? This second I am this, but I believe that I am the same person, but I am different from who I was 1 second ago. Okay.
It means that every moment to moment,
Yeah.
it's like
It's a
you are different from what you
Yes.
were a moment ago, and at birth, what you think is birth is actually a flash. What you think
Right
of
now,
you right now is a flash, and death is a flash. All this is a continuum,
Continue.
and it
But you
occurs so
seem like
fast
continuum, yeah.
that you feel that it is a continuum.
Continue.
And then, when this form is not there, that is what is death. I mean, that
Something-
vanishes is something like that.
yeah, but it can arise afterwards.
Yeah.
Buddha did not say that there is no, at death everything gets zero or anything like that.
Yeah.
That arising continues.
So,
In
yeah,
fact,
the form can be different.
Actually, you can
Rupa
sense
Shmara
it
also
because
that way.
sometimes you say, I would have never thought of this 20 years back. So the thoughts are changing, and then of course you can see your body.
Rupa is
So
changing.
when you really look back to a very distant one, then you seem to be a different person from what you
What
were.
connects you to that, small fellow and the big fellow, or small
Yeah.
kala and this is that memory, because that is also one aspect. You carry that memory, and then that is what is muddying the whole thing. It's not because if that memory was not there, you are a new person. Every moment you'll be a new person.
Probably that memory only because I don't see the connection between the bigger self and myself. Actually,
Yeah, true. No, it's a point. That's what exactly, because we take everything out of memory. Exactly what
The
I'm
limited
saying.
memory.
No, it
In
doesn't.
Gita we are saying
It doesn't
this,
even
I'm
stop
bringing
there.
it from memory.
It actually just says that in your form, in your life, you have only seen this from
Yeah.
the instance of your birth till the instance of your death. You only see what you see. There could be a form and the 5 elements where you actually are able to see the Lord also, God also. So you have only in our experience, we are just experiencing this.
Yeah.
So
Right
that
now.
is that's a good argument by the Buddhists. Nothing wrong. So, but we will see
It seems
why.
very logical. I mean, if
it's
you
a very
think about
logical
Yeah.
thing. So, but I'll just say very short refutation of it. We will discuss it next week because Satyanji has to leave. So the next paragraph. Why should we assume this unity, right? There is a compelling answer to this. Consider a moment of awareness. Perhaps you're standing in front of the mirror, noticing your own reflection, feeling hunger, reflecting on your roles and struggles. All of this, a lot of things are happening at the same time, right? All at once. These different experiences, while distinct, are all tied together by your awareness of them. There's something which ties to them all together. And the Buddha will say, hey, yeah, of course, it is the awareness, the consciousness part of the 5 skandhas.
Yeah.
We have still not said why maybe there's another way to look at it. So what connects them into a coherent sense of you in that moment? What connects all of these?
All of this.
Some might argue that it's the relationships between these experiences that provide the unity. It means, this memory is connected to the previous memory,
Yeah.
like what Kala was telling. So, and that is why it is a coherent single person. However, such a claim falls short because those relationships presuppose that the experiences already exist within a single unified awareness. So you say that Buddha said, oh, there is the Rupa Skandha, there is the Vedana Skandha, mental formations. And then all of these are tied together with the
Experience.
consciousness which is lighting it up. But notice here, each one of the skandhas is also, you're presupposing that, right? All of those arise and the consciousness arise all at the same time. And so you kind of, the relationships between these various things is not enough to say that it is the same, it is a moment to moment will not suffice. There's a complicated argument. I'll make a very quick one. If, let us say, moment to moment, let's grant it to Buddha, that every moment is distinct, then that means there is a gap between moment to moment, right? That in that gap, is that gap known or unknown? If you say that there is a gap, you should know that there is a gap, right? To know the gap, you need consciousness. Otherwise, you cannot say there is no gap, right? If you say that, oh yeah, you insist that there is a gap, how would you insist?
So it's a continuum.
There is
no gap.
There is no gap. So that will be the Shankara's and the Vedantic argument will be, no, there is no gap. So there is the Atma which is there, which is underlying. So Buddha actually was not too keen on all these philosophical arguments. I'm just caricaturing Buddha, perhaps I'm attaching too much. He was only more interested in reducing our suffering. So his main opponent was to say those people who are telling, oh, you have a good Atma, you have a bad Atma, you're sinning, and all these kind of things for them. And then we had in our thing about Punya, Papa, and all kinds of things to say that, oh, you will go to hell, you will. So for that he was telling there is no Atma. That means all this is a continuous
Happenings.
Because some of these sayings are to make those people understand in that context at that point in time, and to
The Brahmanism was
a big problem. So you have to say those things at that time. It doesn't mean you take it as an absolute truth.
So we have to be very charitable to Buddha here and to see where he is actually coming from. He is actually coming from an angle of reducing suffering. So we cannot say that, oh, you made a mistake, so everything whatever you said is wrong. No. So we have to kind of put that in the right perspective. So we will start from here next week.
One other thing about this memory.
So Satyanji, whenever you want.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I need to reach.
Yeah.
All right.
Take care.
All right, thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Take care.
Jai Shri Krishna.
So there's the autobiography of Yogi. One of his gurus, Mukteshwar Giri, is the guru of Yoga and the Paramahansa. So he says that once a gentleman came to Mukteshwar, said, Swamiji, I met you 20 years ago and I've come back to see you and things like that. So the Swamiji looks at him and says, oh, 20 years ago you saw an illusion of me, now you're seeing another illusion of me.
Something like that. Yeah.
Whereas, see, that 5 things which all of us carry, that obviously he is a Swami, he didn't carry the memory of those. So
Correct.
maybe that's a way of, eliminating that, that memory aspect.
Good. Nice. So let's do the meditation. Take your hand as awareness or consciousness. I'm referring to this unlimited Atma. That to which when you said, oh, are you present? Yes, I am present. That's it. No, it's not something missing, it's just already here. Let's close our eyes and sit comfortably. take your stand as the awareness notice your breath. The breath rises in awareness and slowly fades away in awareness. Sometimes we feel we can control our breath, and that is true. We can have a longer inhale and a long exhale. The ability to control the breath also arises in awareness. Sometimes the breath always happens. Sometimes there is some voluntary control on it, and sometimes we just let it happen involuntarily. All of this happens in awareness. Become aware of the touch sensations of your feet on the ground or on the sofa. Those sensations were always there. It's just when you pointed the attention to it, it came into consciousness. Notice the sound of their conditioning. That also arises in awareness. Let's move back and forth between our breath and the sound of the air conditioner. Both are happening in consciousness or awareness. Sometimes we say that the breath is internal to the body and the sound is external. That is true only if you assume that consciousness is something produced by the body. In our experience, both the sound of the air conditioner and the breath arises in the same seamless medium in which we can move back and forth. Some thoughts might arise. It doesn't matter what the content of the thought is. The thought arises in consciousness. Notice that you will be able to move freely across all experiences seamlessly in consciousness. Let's stay as consciousness for a few minutes. If there is any feeling of restlessness, boredom, thoughts, just let it be. And it will go away. If you find staying as awareness not clear, not intuitive, you can take the breath as your anchor. Come back to the breath. But notice that the breath is also arising and passing away in consciousness. become aware of the surroundings. Maybe the weight of your body on the chair. Your breathing. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Nice. Any thoughts?
We are so conditioned with words, which is so deeply embedded, then we associate the thing with the word itself.
Good.
And that's why it's very difficult to, come out of it.
Deconstruct
it. That's why the whole approach, where Ramana Maharishi and all the thing. First is neti, that is this is not this, it's not this, it's not this. And therefore what is left is only. So you don't describe anything, but you start eliminating.
Correct. So not this, not this, not this. So for this, we said, okay, not the body,
Not the body.
not the
Mind.
personality.
Yeah.
So then we have this new situation where, hey, but it's only flashes. Like it's slowly we are doing something similar,
Yeah.
but in a coming just from another angle. Because I think that it is valuable because once you come at it from many angles, you get clear conviction of what is going on. Because our conditioning comes from many angles. So we have to decondition also from.
Yeah. Conditioning is the one that we have to deal with as we try to understand.
Good, but ultimately, the bottom line is how it affects your well-being, happiness, and whether it helps in reducing suffering. That is the litmus test. If that is not happening, then all of this is not no use.
Right.
Good. Now time for coffee.
Of course.